Dear Doc, Mel Bandalaria, and classmates, warm greetings to everyone. This is Amalia Santa Ana, also known as Alma, and currently enrolled in EDDE 205, Management of Distance Education. I'm using the Vatican's St. Peter's Basilica as my presentation background, which is a beautiful way to honor Pope Francis and feel spiritually connected during this solemn time. His legacy of humility, compassion, and reform will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on the Catholic Church and beyond. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Today, I am delighted to share my book review on best practices in open and distance education, case studies from Commonwealth countries. The book Best Practices in Open and Distance Education, Case Studies from Commonwealth Countries, edited by Manas Ranjan, Panigrahi, and Sudarshan Mishra, is a comprehensive exploration of effective strategies in open and distance education, or ODE, across various Commonwealth nations. Published in 2021 by the Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, or CEMCA. This book offers valuable insights into the diverse approaches adopted to enhance educational accessibility and quality. The book discusses how populations are diverse in terms of age, education, location, and socioeconomic standing, highlighting how a single conventional educational model cannot accommodate this diversity. It emphasizes the need for creative, adaptable, and technologically advanced approaches to make education a basic human right. The editors emphasize how important information and communication technology, or ICT, is to institutional and teaching learning processes, pointing out how traditional universities are evolving into dual mode establishments that provide both traditional and remote learning options. The editors have successfully brought together voices from diverse educational landscapes from Botswana, South Africa, Malaysia, Nigeria, and beyond, highlighting practices that address critical issues such as access, quality assurance, teacher training, learner engagement, and technological innovation. This makes the book especially relevant in the post-COVID-19 world, where distance education has moved from the margins to the mainstream. It offers several key implications for distance education or DE management, especially through its detailed case studies that reflect real-world applications and innovations. Distance education has experienced rapid growth due to technological advancements, rising demand for lifelong learning, and more recently, the global COVID-19 pandemic. However, online and blended learning models have revealed systemic flaws, including inequitable access, lack of teacher preparedness, and insufficient infrastructure. This book emerges from a long-standing recognition by CEMCA of the need to document and disseminate scalable and effective DE practices. While many resources on distance education exist, few focus explicitly on the global south or offer case studies from a regional perspective. Through this approach, Panigrahi and Mishra make a distinct contribution to the field by situating best practices within the socio-economic, cultural, and political context unique to Commonwealth countries. Authors, purpose, and main points. The editors, Panigrahi and Mishra, aim to highlight innovative practices in open and distance education, or ODE, across Commonwealth countries. Their purpose is to provide educators, policymakers, and researchers with actionable insights into improving ODE systems. This viewpoint is implied through the thematic organization of the book and the selection of case studies, which emphasize practical solutions and collaborative efforts. The introduction and preface underscore the importance of leveraging technology and flexible learning methods to address educational challenges. The book is structured into four themes, each presenting 3 to 4 case studies. The case studies collectively address 6 major themes. open education resources, or OER, learner support systems, instructional design, capacity building, inclusive education, and the use of digital tools and technologies. Evaluation and critical analysis of themes. Theme 1, Administration and Governance. The significance of strong governance frameworks in ODE is aptly highlighted by this theme. The case studies show how creative approaches have been used by organizations such as the University of Namibia, Botswana Open University, and Krishna Kanta Handiki State Open University to increase productivity and efficiency. Theme 2, Learning Materials and Teaching Learning. This theme focuses on developing easily accessible and captivating educational resources that cater to the various needs of students. Innovative strategies for overcoming language barriers and cutting costs are demonstrated by the case studies, which include the VOC UP initiative and the use of OERs. Theme 3, Academic Counseling and Learner Support Services. This theme emphasizes the importance of learner support to guarantee student achievement and retention. The case studies, which include the technological tools of the University of Namibia and the learner engagement tactics of Open University Malaysia, offer insightful information. Theme 4, Application and Integration of Information and Communication Technology, or ICT. The transformative potential of ICT in ODE is highlighted by this theme. The case studies demonstrate the various uses of technology, including the digital platforms of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University and the ICT initiatives of the National Open University of Nigeria. The book uses real-world case studies as its primary evidence, showcasing successful practices from institutions like the University of Namibia, Botswana Open University, and others. This evidence is convincing because it is grounded in practical applications supported by data and analysis. However, the book could strengthen its arguments by including more quantitative data on the outcomes of these practices and feedback from learners. How well the book has achieved its goal. The book's goal of showcasing the best ODE practices in Commonwealth nations is mostly accomplished. The editors, Panigrahi and Mishra, give readers useful insights into the difficulties and advancements in ODE by going over a number of case studies. A thorough examination of the topic is ensured by the book's thematic organization, which covers governance, learning resources, learner support, and ICT integration. The book is extremely relevant for researchers, educators, and policymakers because it includes real-world examples. Though the book succeeds in showcasing effective techniques, it could go more deeply onto the structural issues that still plague ODE. So, what possibilities are suggested by the book? The book opens up several possibilities for the future of ODE. These are scalability of innovations. The case studies suggest that successful practices such as use of OERs and ICT integration can be scaled to other institutions and regions. Collaboration. Among institutions, the focus on cooperation among Commonwealth nations draws attention to the possibility of pooling resources and knowledge. Policy development. The book provides a foundation for policymakers to develop frameworks that support the adoption of innovative practices in ODD. And community engagement. Examples of community radio and localized learning materials suggest ways to make education more inclusive and culturally relevant. So what the book has left out? While the book is thorough in its coverage of best practices, it leaves out some vital elements. These are challenges in implementation. The book could provide more detail on resource generation, resistance to change, and digital divides faced during implementation. Then, learner perspectives. The book mainly discusses institutional strategies, giving little focus to learners' experiences and feedback. And comparative analysis, comparing the case studies would enrich the book by highlighting shared themes and distinct approaches. So what specific points are not convincing? Some points in the book could be more convincingly addressed. These are cultural differences. The influence of cultural differences on the implementation of ODE practices is not thoroughly examined. Then, effectiveness of innovations. While the book highlights modern practices, it does not provide enough evidence of their effectiveness in improving learning outcomes. And scalability. The feasibility of scaling these practices to other contexts is not thoroughly evaluated. So how the book compares to others on the subject. Compared to other works on ODE, this book is notable for its emphasis on real-world applications and pragmatic approach. While many academic texts on ODE are theoretical, this book provides actionable insights through its case studies. However, it lacks the deeper analysis found in some other works, particularly in addressing the systemic challenges and long-term sustainability of ODE practices. The author's expertise. Both editors have substantial backgrounds in education with a focus on ODE. The book gains credibility from their backgrounds and connections to the CEMCA. The meticulous selection and presentation of case studies demonstrates their experience. So what are the criteria for judging the book? The most appropriate criteria include relevance and applicability of the practices discussed, depth of analysis and evidence provided, and contribution to the field of OTE. Is it successful in achieving the book's purpose? The book effectively fulfills its goal in highlighting best practices in ODE. It offers valuable insights and practical solutions. However, it could enhance its impact by more thoroughly addressing challenges and incorporating learner perspectives. Overall, it represents a noteworthy contribution to the field and serves as a valuable resource for its intended audience. Personal experiences related to the subject. As a student in distance education and having strong interest in lifelong learning, I found the book to be both thought provoking and inspirational. My belief in the transformational potential of education was strengthened by the case studies. In my own experience, online learning platforms have made education more inclusive, so the use of ICT to improve accessibility, for example, reminded me of this. But the book also got me thinking about how to make sure that everyone has access to resources and technology, especially in underprivileged areas. In conclusion, this book serves as an important resource for exploring the innovations and challenges in ODE. Although it successfully highlights best practices, it offers opportunities to delve deeper into systemic challenges and learner perspectives. The book's practical approach and diverse case studies make it a significant contribution to the field, but deeper analysis of its themes would enhance its impact. These are my references. That ends my presentation. Thanks for watching. God bless us all.